No, like literally, I just had. There we go.
There it
is. There's always something with technology.
It's so like I can never. I don't know. YouTube just always gets me. All right. Welcome in, everybody. I am Lucky Wood, and you are watching the Lucky Ones podcast, episode 10. We made it 10 episodes. I'm so excited. Tonight is a very special night. We have two of the OGs in the house joining us as amazing guests. We're so excited to have them. I'm joined tonight with my co-hosts, Amanda, Christina, and Scarlett Jade. And our guests tonight, if you don't recognize them, then you obviously haven't been around long enough. But so you so we have Miss Beth Westbury Dukes and Casey Antar, correct?
Yes.
Perfect. I was going to ask you before and I forgot. So
You're fine.
I'm glad I got it right the first time. So, ladies, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it, especially tonight on our episode as we've made it to double digits.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Glad to be a part of it. Right. And yes, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. You know what they say about when you get a group of women together and the fact that we've made it 10 weeks and most of us are still here and most of us still like each other. It's yay.
That's a big deal.
Milestone.
It's huge.
Yes.
So, backstory though, I will say, Casto and I, we got some beef though, but it's all in good fun. So if you hear something at each other, it's not real. We love each other so much, but we do like to pick on each other a lot. So
I've had beef with Beth my whole life, so it's okay.
Yeah, right. we still have beef.
Awesome. All right, so ladies, I will let Beth, you can go first, and then we'll just swap off who answers first on a couple of these questions if that works for you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Awesome. All right, so Beth, tell us about your background in the sport and what got you into arm wrestling.
So arm wrestling is a family sport for us. My big brother is Chuck Westbury, and so going way far back, he started arm wrestling when he was 16 and I was 6. And he was just, a big guy, big kid. And he worked out at a gym and he met up with some guys and they were like, hey, you should try this. You're a big dude. See if you like it. And so he did. He arm wrestled for a couple years in high school and kind of, put it on the back burner, graduated, got a little bit older. And so then fast forward, he was 26 and I was 16. And I was on the weightlifting team in high school. And, I was always into those kind of sports. And so he was like, you should come try it. He met up with the same guys again at a different gym, met up with the same arm wrestling guys who were the Florida, they led up the Florida team at the time. So it was Ray Taglione and Greg Helm and Keith Cage Crocker. And so he had met up with them. And so I started arm wrestling when I was 16. My first tournament was in Destin, Florida. And it was one of Chris Coletti's tournaments. And I was really good at it. And so I kept doing it. And so I arm wrestled for about, I don't know, maybe 6 months or so. And then I invited Casey to come. Me and Casey have been best friends since we were like 10. And so I was like, hey, I'm really good at this. Do you want to be good at it too? And so we both started arm wrestling. And so I will be 40 this year, and I started arm wrestling when I was 16. So I know. Casey will be 40 before me. And
shut up in 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
We love you, Christina.
So we just Casey and I kind of teamed up and traveled around the world, and Chuck has been, our coach for the whole ride. And so, I've been places that I never knew existed. There's some places in this world that, you don't even hear about. And I always tell people that arm wrestling's like Fight Club. Unless you know someone who's in it, you don't know anything about it.
Literally.
And then when you do know someone who's in it, you know everything and everybody's backstory and what they weigh and what tournaments they've been to and how long they've been doing it. So now, fast forward, I'm 40. You've seen them. I have a soon to be 9-year-old and a 6-year-old, and they compete at Chuck's tournament that's coming up every year. And my 2 nieces, who are almost 19 and 16, are the current world champions. And so they, it's a family sport for us. We do it as a family, and we've been doing it for 25, 30 years. Casey, your turn.
I mean,
I
the
have the
only
wrong
thing that I can
family.
add on to is the fact that we've done it all, and now we have stepped back. I'm not going to say retired. We have stepped back from pooling, and I went on to refereeing, which I am a-okay not doing anymore because it's so hostile. And to be that median in it, I am okay with not doing it. And Chuck has now invested his faith into Beth and I in announcing and running the brackets at his tournament yearly, and that is our joy right now with everything, with not leaving the sport and still being in contact with it. And don't think that we don't say every day, God, we should get back into it. And then it's like, oh wait, my body can't handle that.
Yeah, no,
I pick up my 50-pound 2-year-old and I'm like, oh yeah, I can't do this anymore. So, but everything Beth said, that's 100%. My very first tournament was a GNC qualifier down in Miami. And I had to pull Michael Todd's wife at the time, Tanya Todd, and she smoked me, and I cried like the biggest baby ever. And I was like, I suck at this. I don't want to do this again. And she pulled me to the side and she was like, girl, you will get stronger than me. You need to stay in it. And here I am. So
that's so uplifting to hear, especially coming from me, coming in late, and I still suck and haven't won anything yet.
You will.
I'm here. I'm still here.
You will.
Yeah. Don't leave. Just stick with it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's fun, and it's something different, and you don't hear about it. And like I said, we've been places. Casey went to Amsterdam, and we've been to Canada and all over the United States. And so that was one of the things we were talking about yesterday. I was like, I miss being in the sport. I miss the people that I've met, and the people that, I've stayed at everyone's houses, and anywhere you travel, it's like family. You don't have to find a hotel room because someone who lives there and that they're going to let you crash on their couch. But yeah, I miss the traveling, and I miss the family part of it.
That's awesome.
So you touched on it a little. I know you both are big family, obviously very, very family oriented, which is beautiful, and I love that. So outside of the sport, outside of arm wrestling, whether it's with your family or like, okay, I need to do something that's not arm wrestling, what can we see you guys, or what can we see you guys doing?
So me and Casey are best friends, and we kind of do everything together, and we are both teachers at the same school. And
next door classrooms.
Honestly, yep, our classrooms are right next to each other. And
my teacher heart is breaking. I'm so jealous right now.
Our kids, my two and Casey's two, all go to the same school. They call each other cousins because they don't know any different. Me and Casey tell them that we're sisters, and my kids call her Aunt Casey, and her kids call me Aunt Beth. And so, I mean, we are really together a lot. We're kind of attached to the hip. So when we're not, being moms, we're being teachers at the same place.
But we also, again, always together. We go to the gym together. We leave our kids at the school, and we will go have
to the gym.
a boba tea after the gym. Like it's outside when we're not together. She is right now about an hour away from me because she cares for her grandfather, which is amazing. And I am married into an Arabic family and have never known anything that was bigger than Beth's family, and am blown away. And so we stay busy when we're not together.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Like, I want to come stay with y'all now.
Come on. Come on. Literally, Beth's family is huge.
I'm going to be in Florida.
If you went down there, Amanda, if you went down there, they would offer for you to stay, because I've met the whole family.
Yeah. Okay. You think I'm kidding? Hold on. Let me just give you a sneak peek. You think
I can hear her mama.
Mama's not here, but hold on. I'm going to show you what's happening.
She's going to show you all the kids.
This is what we do. Oh, is the light off? turn the light on.
She's got the whole family over there.
Look, this is
Her and her
a
cousin.
normal weekend. Everybody say hi. Everybody say hi. Boys, say hi. Hi.
Hi.
Oh,
They're
little
everywhere.
Archie.
Little Archie. They're
My
everywhere,
kids are
and
in
this
bed.
is
I don't play.
when we come out and take care of my grandfather every other weekend or so. And when we do, we have 15 people that come out here with us, and we take turns and we cook dinner and the kids play and we get in the pool, and this is just what we do. We are very family oriented.
That's awesome.
Hi,
Addie's
Addie.
getting so big.
So
She's
I
getting so big.
Yeah.
they grow up fast.
She arm wrestles. She arm wrestles. She at my brother's tournament got second place. It's it's just local tournament, but last year we had oh my goodness, Casey, do you remember how many competitors we had at Chuck's Mayhem tournament?
I want to say it was like 180 if I'm not mistaken.
I was gonna say 185, but anyway, my brother puts on a tournament. This is his 7th year putting it on, and he's got a class for kids, and they are serious. The little girl that beat her, like, she slaps the table and scares me a little bit. And yeah, exactly like that.
Oh, that reminds me of Jamaica James.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right, thank you. Goodbye. I love you.
We're done here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe one day they'll all follow in our footsteps and go to big tournaments and compete at national levels.
That would be so cool. Y'all have to just you're gonna have to share all your family secrets. Like, is it like a meal plan y'all follow? Is it like some special voodoo stuff you do as a family to make the family full of winners?
So
they beat each other up.
Yeah, exactly. For a while, you know.
Correction. Hold on, Beth. Correction. 257 entries from last year.
Sorry, we were way off.
We're getting text messages from Chuck.
Hi, Chuck.
Chuck, leave him alone.
Right.
He can't.
Yeah, we will say, so we don't get in trouble later in the group chat. This year's Mayhem is on June 8th.
That's right.
In Middleburg. Sarah Bach will be there, so ladies, make sure you show up, get a chance to pull her. They're gonna have kids.
That's right.
Yes.
Kids, women's open, teen boys, teen girls, masters. No novice. There's no novice this year. Okay. And it's gonna start at 10 a.m. Last year we had a lot more entries than we planned on. A lot of tournaments do double elimination. Mm-hmm. Chuck has really mastered the art of round robin, which, in my opinion, you get your money's worth. I mean, if there's 10 people in the class, you're arm wrestling 10 times. So, it definitely makes it worth it, but it can make for a long day. So last year we had to rearrange some stuff. And so this year we have kind of finagled with the bracket system to where if there is a class that has more than 20 competitors, we're going to split that class in half and do 2 round robins for that class, and then take either the top 3 or the top 4 from each class and then put them together. So that will eliminate a 900 match round robin down to about I think he said a 300 match round robin, something like that. He's probably going to text me in just a minute and let me know what I was wrong about. No.
So, and we are all about the ladies, I will say, but we
Amen.
do friend Jody Williams, who is going to have Chuck on. So whether speaking for him, May 15th, I believe, at 3 Pacific Standard Time. So that's going to be like 7 Eastern Time, if my math is right.
Not a math teacher. She's not a math teacher.
Not a math teacher. I'm tell you that right now.
No, that's why I tell everybody, like, the year that the school hired me to teach math was 2019. In 2020, God shut down all the schools because he was like, Lucky cannot teach math. We shutting the schools and restarting.
There was a reason for it.
That's awesome. 30 people would be 900 matches.
900. So 20 people would be 550, 600, something like that. I got it, Chuck. Thank you.
Gotta love
yeah, so that was my childhood. Chuck didn't have a little brother. So I filled in the spots. Whenever he would train me until I threw up. And then I made Casey come with me because I didn't want to be the only one throwing up.
Suffer alone.
Yeah.
But we did everything with Chuck. Like we threw the shock put. We did everything. And I say the shock put because I threw the shock put at Chuck a few times too close to the genitalia
and hit him.
Yeah, that's me. Hi. Yeah. But he loves me, so it's okay. Beth used to drive a Ford Ranger, and we would hook up a rope to the Ford Ranger and yank it
and arm wrestle it across the yard.
And so we've done everything the hillbilly style way.
Yeah.
Christina, exactly.
Exactly.
That's right. That's right. But that was the first year that we both won nationals, was whenever we were catching, like we would throw a shot put like this, throw it and catch it underhanded. Overhanded. And that was the first year we both won nationals, when we could catch a 20-pound shot put with one hand.
I think that's how my hands stayed strong, is because of picking up wood all the time.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I can remember being like late teens and going to the grocery store and picking up like a 12 pack of Cokes, how they're like long, skinny, and I would pick it up and they would be like, how are you doing that? I was like, I don't know. And then it was from throwing the shot put. It worked. Hand strength.
Yeah. Get one.
Yep.
So what, so you kind of already answered that, because the question was going to be, what does your training look like? So anything crazy and dangerous that has to do with
literally.
Exactly. And it was arm wrestle as many men as we could. Casey and I were the only two women on our team for a very long time. And there was a point where it was just me and Casey and Chuck for probably 2 or 3 years. And now the team is, on a good night, 50 guys will show up in Chuck's garage on a Thursday night and, be lined up and down the driveway. And you just kind of, everybody mingles and, all right, you come pull this guy and you come pull her. And so that's really what it was. We would have our schedule for workouts would be back and bis, chest and tries, legs and shoulders, and then arm wrestling. And so that was our 4-day workout program. And honestly, it was whatever Chuck told us to do, because he said, and that's what we did. And
we
it
listened.
worked.
We didn't talk back.
Yeah.
Right.
And it worked. It worked. He's really put out a lot of national and world champions out of his garage.
That's awesome. Well, tell us about worlds. Tell us about nationals. I know you both have won nationals, and you won worlds as well.
The only worlds that I won, the federation, was PAC. And that was at the Mohegan Sun. I think it was in 2007. But that was an amazing, the whole event from start to finish was amazing. That was the first time I ever seen Ron Bath get fired up, because, he's really like a laid back, nice, gentle giant guy. And I can remember this was, before FaceTime, in the years of flip phones and things like that. But I can remember being on the phone with Casey because she didn't go. And I was like, I wish you could be here to see how fired up Ron Bath is, because he was screaming at the audience and slapping the table. And
that's when all the pixelated pictures, you're watching and it's all pixelated. And I'm like, what am I looking at? I don't see anything.
And it was Ron like flexing at the crowd. And I was like, he doesn't ever act like this. So that was fun. Nationals, my first nationals that we went to was, I think it was South Carolina.
Columbia.
And I had to struggle to make weight, butt naked in the weight room. I had to run around the hotel with trash bag on and sit in the hot bathroom with the hot water running. And I got on the scale probably 3 times. And there was no sauna. I got on the scale probably 3 times, and I was like ounces over, like 2 ounces, and they wouldn't let me have it. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to die. And so, I stripped down to nothing, not even a sock. I had nothing on. And I was still like 2 ounces over. And then Heather Battles McSherry, whatever her last name is now, was like, stand on your head. And I was like, I'm naked, first of all, and I'm in
What
a
does your
room
best
full of a
friend do
bunch of
for
people.
you?
I stood on my head, and Casey held my ankles up in the air, and so
Butt naked.
flipped back down, and I was like 4 ounces under. So I made weight and thought I was going to pass out and throw up, and it was insane. And so I don't think I won nationals that year. I think I got third or fourth, but it was definitely an experience. So that was fun.
I've been to Worlds to Bulgaria, and that was with WAF, but I placed fourth. You know, I primarily only pull left-handed, but that was an experience in itself. I think going to another country like that and not knowing at the age that I was what I was getting into, you know, their toilets aren't toilets, it's a hole in the ground. And so, you know, I was blown away by that. And then having to eat their food, and I'm a big girl, so I could put some groceries away, and their portions were like this big, and I'm like, wait, what am I supposed to eat? And then, you know, just everything that was we flew into Amsterdam, and then we had to go over to Bulgaria, but I was too young. I would love to do it all over again because I would do
Too
it
young to
differently.
appreciate it.
Right. You know,
Yeah.
Amsterdam is not for young kids by any means. You know, walk in the red light district with Leonard and Denise, you know, and I'm 18, 19 years old, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what is this? But and then going over to Bulgaria, and you know, I'm by myself. Beth didn't go with me, and so I'm calling her nonstop and just blown away by it all. But you know, fourth place, I'll take that any day for the age I was and what I was handed there competition wise.
Yeah.
As far as nationals, you know, Beth said my first one was with her in Columbia, but you know, I have to throw out my most memorable one, and it was Billings, Montana, the one and only year that I beat Beth, and I screamed in her face when I did because I was so happy.
Screamed right in my face.
Yes, but
like,
that was also the year that I beat Mary Mack, and I, you know, what could I have wished more for? So
that was
I
a
was
big
on
year.
cloud
Yeah,
nine.
that was the first time we had ever both pulled Mary and both won, and we were both very excited about that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. So I'm glad
and she did. She screamed right in my face. We have a newspaper clipping, and it's of me in the winning position, but she won that match because it flopped right back over. And I was like, oh yeah, that was when Casey beat me.
Well, you can just totally just use the picture, be like, I don't know what happened after they took
Yeah, I don't know what happened. That happened a lot though. Like Casey was talking about her first tournament, and we went to South Beach. The entire news article, Chuck will appreciate this. The entire news article was about me and Casey. The whole thing, start to finish. The picture on the front page of the sports section was Chuck, big Chuck, right on the front page. The whole article was me and Casey. Yep, that happened. I know. He really liked it. He says it's because he's so pretty. If y'all haven't had the pleasure of meeting him yet, you will.
Yeah. Yeah. I met him I feel like I met him last year at sit downs, but I was just so like sit downs last year was my first ever arm wrestling event that I got to go, but I didn't participate. I wasn't a puller then. So it was just like, here's this person, here's this person, here's this person. And
overwhelming.
Then, like, now that I'm in the sport, I'm like, oh my gosh, I met them.
Yeah, I remember them. Yeah.
I know who they are. And so, yeah, I met and remember meeting Chuck this year.
Oh, good.
It was awesome. He's a great guy.
He is.
And so, what has been like? So, aside from beating Beth and screaming in her face, what is your like favorite event? Would you classify that as your favorite event? Or do you have one that like sticks out? Like this one was really fun, or this one was really cool because.
So I'm gonna have to jump in on this one. Beth and I have traveled everywhere. We've flown, you know, you name it, we've done it. Driving 8 hours to a tournament for us to turn around and drive back the next day. You know, we've done all that. I would have to say fun, would have to be back in the ROTN days. I want to say it was Kansas City. I could be wrong, but we roomed with Daniel that time, and he had to make weight. And so
Daniel
that was,
Worley.
yeah, Daniel Worley, I'm sorry. And he had to make weight that time. So Beth and I were able to enjoy and, you know, make fun of and go out and, you know, hang out with the guys really and party. And the after party there was at the same facility. And, you know, all the nationals with AAA, you can't forget about those because they always have the best parties. And I have pictures with Christina and her husband, and I have pictures with Holly Edwards, and you know, and you look back at it and you're like, wow, can we go back to that?
Yeah.
I tried to find those pictures tonight.
We found them. We sent them.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
Hold on, I'll send it to you.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
I would say my favorite tournament, or I don't know if it's my favorite. I don't know. There's been so many of them, but when we went to Vegas for Worlds, that was a fun one. We were there with we had some younger members from our team come with us and competed on our youth division, and so we had probably 5 or 6 people with us, but we stayed right outside of Vegas and drove back into the city, and so we were old enough to do all the things that we, you know, the Vegas-y stuff. So that was fun. And then another one was when we went to Canada. You know, we hear these Florida girls are going to Canada in December. So
driving
we like
in the
literally
snow.
Packed parkas and snow boots and gloves and hats and all of these things. And it's not the same cold. Like here in Florida, it's a wet cold. And when you get cold, it's like sticks to your bones. And 30 degrees is cold here. So we're going to Canada. And first of all, we fly in to like Seattle or somewhere. We have to wait for other members of our team. We drive in, we drive to Kelowna, British Columbia. Yep. Beautiful. Canada was wonderful. We didn't have to wear parkas at all. We didn't have to wear anything but long sleeves. It was snowing. You know, we don't drive in the snow. We're in Florida. It doesn't do that here. So that was an adventure. And then coming back, we had a foreign member on our team and we got stopped at customs. It was a lot easier getting into Canada with someone foreign than it was coming back out of Canada with someone foreign. And so we were like, listen, he's just gonna have to stay here and figure it out because we're leaving. But eventually we all got out. But that was a fun trip. We had fun at that one too.
That's awesome.
When we went to nationals in Niagara Falls, we
went
yes.
That was a good one.
We went over into Canada. Well, my son at the time, he was, I think, 19 or 20. Andrew didn't have a license at the time.
Oh, no.
And when we came back, they asked him for his ID, and he's like, I don't have a license. You're 19 years old and you don't have a license. So he gives him his hunting license.
Yes, he has that, of course.
Dude, I don't. So they asked what we were doing up in New York if we live in West Virginia, and he says, well, we're not there to see Niagara Falls, we're there to arm wrestle. So the one guy's like, oh, they're not lying, because I
for real,
they're going to be at such and such place, I've heard it, and blah blah blah. So he actually knew that we weren't lying and everything. And
did y'all drive in or did you walk
crazy.
in?
We drove in.
Oh, okay.
But
when we went to the same tournament, we
didn't have to have a passport or anything.
Yeah, when we walked in, they didn't ask for anything. We just went through the little gate thing. But that was awesome too. That was beautiful. We went and we got on the Maid of the Mist and went down into the falls and rode the boat and did all that stuff. Very touristy.
Nice.
We're good at that.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to see Niagara Falls. That's on my to-do list.
It was beautiful. We went during the day and then we went back at night and it's all lit up different colors and stuff. It was awesome. Yeah. But that's what I was saying. There's places that we've been that you didn't even know existed. And then there's other like bucket list places like Niagara Falls and Grand Canyon and all of those big places.
Yeah. Grand Canyon is cool. I did like the Grand Canyon.
Yeah. We didn't actually go to the Grand Canyon, but we flew over it whenever we flew into Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You really miss it.
Yeah. Yeah. Hard to miss.
Yeah.
That's about like me when I went to Worlds That's about like me when I went to Worlds this year. I flew into Paris. Did I go see the Eiffel Tower? No.
No,
Nah.
sure didn't.
Went
I'm
right
good.
straight, got on the car. Nah, I'm good. I
Got
seen it in the
other
distance.
things to
That's
do.
okay. I'm good.
When was your each of your last matches?
Mine was in
So I'm
Vegas.
still, was it Vegas?
Yep. Whenever I went by myself without you, it was 2016. It was right before I
Yours
had my
was
son. Oh, maybe 2015.
It was
15
15 because I went in
WAL.
13 with Pappy. So I've still competed in smaller tournaments like Chuck's tournaments. We've still, but
Oh,
like
true. I
to
forget about
actually,
those.
yeah, but like a tournament to actually train for, to expect to go and win, was probably 2013 when the last time I went to Las Vegas, whenever they were doing
But we had stopped
some
arm
kind of
wrestling. Like
filming.
we weren't really training either because whenever I went to Vegas in 2015, I wasn't training and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna pool. I just wanted to go because I had just broken up with my now husband. God bless his soul. But we had split up and I was like, oh, I just want to get away. I want to go do something. And so I went, and that's when it was at the Excalibur we all stayed at, but then it was at a off-site. But I remember going in saying, oh, I'm not going to pull. And then they had us all take pictures and all the girls were like, oh, you have to, you have to. And I was like, why not?
Okay.
Why not? I'm here. Why not do it? And I remember I was in a black t-shirt and a black and white striped shirt, and they wanted me to pose for a picture. And I was like, in this, you want me to pose? And so I posed. And then that was the year that Deanna Hayes, I hope I said her name right. She beat me. She got first. I got second. I couldn't tell you who got third, but I hadn't trained in forever.
Right.
So
So still walking away with second.
Yeah.
and $700. I was great with it.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing to be sad about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
I
at
went
all.
to Jesse Gonzalez had put a team together in 2013, and it was like a Florida team for WAL, and it was in Las Vegas, and we stayed at the Luxor Hotel. Was it WAL? Yeah, I think it was. And I was the girl on the Florida team. But that was the last tournament that I had like actually hard trained for. I had a baby in 2011 that passed away, and then I really kind of stopped training hard anyway. So I still go to the gym, like even now I still go to the gym. But then I had my son in 2015, and then my daughter was in 2018. And then I've had some serious health stuff going on. I had open heart surgery in 21. And so arm wrestling kind of took a back burner for a while. And so my doctor approved me to get back into weights and to be doing things other than cardio in the middle of last year, 23. And so I started being able to do a little bit more with weights and lifting and stuff. Cause at one time I was lifting really heavy. Like I was bench pressing. Not plural. I bench pressed one time 305. And so that was like my max. Yeah, I know that was a big deal in Chuck's garage. Imagine that. But yeah, so that the last time I trained to pull in a big tournament was in Las Vegas in 2013.
Nice.
And I won. I don't remember who all was there. I think
Toot your own horn. Go ahead, Beth.
I will. Toot. Kelly Nelson was there. Beth Saltzman. Trapper Saltzman's wife. I think that's her name. I think my name is Beth. I should know this. I don't know. Christina, I can't remember her last name. She had black hair.
Oh.
Uh-huh. Yep. That one. Fran, Chop's sister, Chop from Louisiana.
Wow.
So there was
I've
probably
ever
10 in the class. That was a fun trip too.
That's crazy. I've never, yeah. So speaking of like 10 in the class, so I want to get, we have some co-hosts that have to pop off here, but I want to get both of you just if you could. So we have, some big ladies events happening this year. In October, we have our showcase that we're doing called On the Rise. It's a super match event that's going to be virtual. And then the next week we have the invitational. So one's Friday night and one's Saturday during the day. And y'all know about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So what do y'all say? Because y'all have been in it. Y'all know, I'm sure you both have probably pulled round robins before.
Mhm.
Yeah. What there is some advice that you would give the ladies who are participating in that?
So round robins, you have to make sure your endurance is there. Don't blow your load on a match that you shouldn't blow your load on.
Don't say that, Beth.
I mean, it's the truth. Don't waste your time. If you have a match coming up that you have a better chance of winning, I'm not saying lay down for someone, but if you need to, then you should.
I would have to say, Beth and I being right by each other's side, no matter what, Chuck in our ear, the hype is what it is. And so if you have somebody in your corner and they are there to hype you up and they are talking, mad crap in your ear, I'll keep it PG, but,
I did Chuck, too. I said, blow your load. I didn't say anything else.
Beth is more on the soft side. Chuck is more like and in your face, and yeah. And so that helps, and then that keeps you pumped up. And Beth has slapped me. I've slapped Beth. Renee Bean has gone in the bathroom and she's like, "Do you want me to slap you?" And I'm like, "No, your biceps way too big." So that would be mine. Just keep the hype, keep the adrenaline, keep somebody in your corner,
and stay positive. If there's somebody that that you're looking at, you're like, there's no way I'm ever going to beat this person. You literally don't know. You don't know. I have, whenever we beat Mary McConaughey, I was like, there's no way. I'm on a riser and I'm still 4 inches shorter than this woman. And there's no way. There's no way I'm going to beat her. And I did. And I about peed my pants. But it can happen. So just stay confident. And
who's the girl that I pulled, Beth? And Christina, you may remember, she doesn't pull anymore. It was very short-lived for her. But Armstrong, I think is her last name. She's a heavyweight lifter.
Where did you pull her?
Macy Armstrong.
Yes.
Macy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I walked in
Macy.
and I crapped my pants when I saw her, and I was like, "Oh my, you want me? You want me
Macy's
to go against her?" Yeah.
She's very sweet. Yes.
Yeah.
And I haven't met an arm wrestler, honestly, other than a couple of like juice head guys that shouldn't be arm wrestling. But honestly, everybody in the arm wrestling family, everybody is sweet. I haven't met someone who isn't. And if they are, they're not doing it for long because they get put in their place.
To your face.
Yeah.
To your face.
Yeah, to your face.
True.
That's true.
I've known a couple here lately that I'm at the end of my career and it's going to level out and I'm going to go right like this as I go out. So they're not going to like me as I go out, and it's going to happen real soon. I'll just say that right now.
Speak it.
And I'll leave it there.
That's right. They'll live. And if they don't, oh well.
Yeah. There you go.
That's
exactly.
Right. May peace be with you.
Right. So what do y'all see changing in the sport? What do you see that's changing that you like? What do you see that's changing that you're like, not so much? What?
Ooh.
I
feel some juice about to come out.
I mean, we've been in it for a very long time. For more than half my life I've been arm wrestling, and it's always the politics. There's always so many people that say the same thing and don't follow through with what they're saying. There's so many federations and new clubs, and only these people can arm wrestle if they have this shirt on, and only these people can arm wrestle if they've been pulling with this group for X amount of years. And it's That's so stupid. I mean, if you're in it to make money, then you're not in it for the right reason. I mean, everybody does it because they love it and they love the sport, and to me it is a team sport, but you're competing against yourself. If that person beat you, it's because they trained harder than you. And if they didn't, then you know what you need to do to train harder to beat that person. So, I mean, I'm not a big fan of all of the politics and all of the I
New
get it that there
rules.
has to be different federations and stuff like that, but yeah, all the new laws and all of the new moves and all of the new things that people try and get away with, and it's just not my cup of tea. See, all of that was very politically correct.
I'm so proud. I was hoping for some clickbait, but that's okay.
So I have to say, my biggest thing is, like back when we grew up in the sport, it's family. And so whenever you see somebody that you haven't seen in a few months, you want to sit down and you want to talk to them and you want to catch up, and you're eating breakfast together, you're eating lunch, you're eating dinner, you're catching up, like you are family, true family. And it's not there anymore. It's not that anymore. It's, I hate him, he's cheater, he's, this and that. And oh, don't get me started. Let me tell you about what they did to me at this tournament. That's not what it's about. What you've got on the table, you leave it there, you walk off. And at the end of the day, again, you're eating dinner, shooting the crap and reminiscing. Frank and Karen Bean were like mine and Beth's parents whenever we went to tournaments. And, they would whisper in our ears, girls, you need to XYZ, or whatever.
And
Christina's
they would
like,
get
come
on
on,
to us
let's
like our
go.
parents.
Christina would
Because
be
our
like, come on,
parents
let's
wouldn't
go
come.
party. Let's
Yeah.
go do this. And so, we had Christina, and then, all of them were just like big sisters, big brothers, moms
Yeah,
and
I feel
dads.
like they helped raise us, like
Right.
Christina and Nicole Cisco and Renee Bean, and
Exactly.
yeah, they all helped
And then
raise
you had
us.
Timmy Bresnan, who's telling you, you need to pull your shirt up, or you need to go to bed. Isn't it past your bedtime?
Yeah.
Things
Yeah.
like that. So, it's the respect is gone. I'll say that.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
And a lot of the new pullers.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we are quick to tell people that they have to leave. Like, my kids go to these tournaments. My kids are pulling at these tournaments, and if these boys get mouthy and loud, and I don't care if I'm 5'2", I will get in your face and you will leave, and you are not going to act like that in front of my family and my
It's
children.
because she knows I'm 6 foot tall and I'm right
And
behind
that's
her,
exactly
as
why I do
Yes.
it. Exactly.
I'm blessed. I'm still around people who have that want for that family.
Good.
There's just that respect. They're going to the weddings. They're celebrating new births. They're
Yes.
helping take care of strangers while they're just meeting them. So I'm lucky. I haven't dealt with that, but I have seen that aspect where it's, man, like where it's the shit talking after a match. It's like, oh, they beat me. They cheated. Damn, she's just fucking a better puller than me. She's so fucking awesome. High five. We girls do that. We girls do that. Every single person in here has waxed my behind every time, and I still hang out with them. I know what's going on in their life right now, and that's beside the point. Because
when Casey beat me, we hugged it out. I think we both cried, and that's how it should be. You should be excited for the person and their win and all of those good things. Yeah, not having an attitude and talking crap behind their back and all that.
Or screaming at the refs.
Yeah, regardless of like what country they're from too, because like
absolutely
women, God Lord,
yeah,
they're just so amazing.
Yes, they are.
But, yeah, we're fighting for that. I think we're really trying to maintain that because, again, I won't bring my kids to matches if that's what's going to be around. I don't want to bring them to a bar where everybody's drinking. We've got people using performance enhancement drugs, shooting up in the bathroom,
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, not okay. Not okay.
Hard pass.
Hard pass. Absolutely.
Literally.
So if we can get out of bar scenes, I think that would be great. Don't get me wrong. In South Carolina, we've got this great location. This guy does this really well.
Yeah.
But and people bring their kids and stuff.
Sure.
It's wonderful, but I really think if we could get with high schools and
Yeah.
work with auditoriums,
Gymnasium.
make an after school sports event,
Yeah.
like clubs, it really would help. It really would
Yeah.
help. We would get the younger girls starting at your age.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
going, all right, you know, so
Absolutely. Whenever we were really heavy into it, we had younger boys on our team that were 13, 14 when they first started, and their parents would call, and it was friends of Chuck's, it was their kids and stuff, and they would call Chuck and they'd be like, you know, so and so got in trouble at school today, and they would still come to arm wrestling practice, but like we would make them run laps around the neighborhood, and like it was still, it wasn't affiliated with the school at all, but we would still, you know, treat it like, okay, well, this is what you have to do before we can arm wrestle because you got in trouble. So and they would be like, all right.
I think that is perfect. I mean,
yeah.
So perfect.
I would ride a bicycle next to them and they would run around the block, and I would yell the whole time, "You're going too slow. Pick your feet up." You're like, "Oh, I hate you."
Again, will you?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to do that again. But no, I agree. I think, and it's always been, because it is a barroom sport. And so it's always been so hard to get it out of that, you know, that personification. People, when you think of arm wrestling, unless you're in it like we've been for years, that's what you think of, is people arm wrestling at a bar and people fighting after they arm wrestle. And that's because that's what you see in movies and things like that. So, I mean, like with Chuck's tournament, it started at this little, you know, kind of a hole in the wall sports bar type of place. And then it moved up to a little bit of a nicer sports bar. And now it's in a ballroom of a hotel. And so there is room for it to grow if there is a person or people there to push it in that direction.
That are dedicated.
You have to say, oh, we have to do this, we have to do that. Yes, everybody had to do that. So now it's our turn. Put up.
Right.
Shut up. You're complaining about what needs to be done, and that's all you're doing, and you're not making any effort to
exactly.
But you'll do the work and get your wings and run your mouth. But then you complain there's not enough people, you're pulling the same. Well, honey, you're shitting on the sport, you know?
That's exactly right. Yeah. And you have to put the money in. The money will be there. I mean, it will come back to you if you put it in the way it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
You will get it back in entry fees and all of those good things. It will come back to you if you do it right.
I agree.
Very cool. So, what do you think? So, obviously, you know, we touched a little bit about like if you're in it for like the money aspect, but when it comes to like the promotional stuff and the pay-per-views and things like that, as far as like, you know, Knuckles Up 3 happened, and one of the big things that a lot of people praise about Knuckles Up 3 is having a lot of people in it that are kind of, you know, amateur pro, you know, that they're almost there. They're not, you know, they're not the Devin Lorette, the Derek Smith. But they're good, you know, and they're getting their name building. Do you think that kind of stuff is, you know, helping, you know, especially for, you know, we're charging for it, you know, to build up that, you know, I
think it's giving it like, you know, UFC vibes, like like getting it out of barroom stuff. If you're putting the money in and people are going to pay to watch it, let whoever wants to do it. I mean, like you said, it's getting their name out there. And then you have, like, you know, the big card, whoever is the big person that week or that month or whatever. But no, I think it's great. I think it is giving a more professional vibe to arm wrestling. And I think it's getting it out there to people who would never see it, who would never know what was going on with it. And so I think it's great for the sport. I do.
Awesome. Casey?
I don't want to interrupt.
Well said.
Guys.
Go ahead.
Nope.
Have a good night.
Charlotte, with you.
Nice meeting you, Beth.
Thank you.
So, ladies, how do you feel about women getting free entry fees into tournaments?
So Chuck offers a free entry fee to his tournament, and you know, the biggest tournament I've ever been to, women's class, was a nationals, and it was, I think, 12 people, which is huge for the women's class. It's huge. But comparing that to, you know, like a 198 man class that has 23 entries, it's nothing. And so to get more women interested and women in the sport, I think not charging for women or teenagers, I think it's a great idea. I think that a lot of the male arm wrestlers have their wives sitting right there, their girlfriends sitting right there. And, you know, they might go to the gym together and they might work out together. And so the husband or boyfriend will be like, hey, you could do this, you know, go sign up. It's free. Why not? You're already here. So all of those things, you know, the bigger tournaments maybe still have an entry fee, but I mean, smaller tournaments and
yeah, but maybe a discounted
yeah.
rate, you know, we're not gonna be as showcased as you know, Ron Bath or any of the bigger guys. You know, we're not going to be there. So if you're going to charge 50, then maybe charge the women like 25. But
yeah,
again, you know, the going to a tournament and, like Beth said, the wife sitting there, I'm going to use a prime example. Moser, that's how you say his name, I'm not really quite sure. Daniel and his ex-wife Lisa, they came to a tournament once and she pulled me after, and unbelievably strong she was. And I was like, why did you not pull? And she's like, I don't know what I'm doing. Well, had she not had to pay, she could have gotten on that table, and I promise you she would have beat at least one person, if not more than that, you know? So it's like, I feel that if there was a free to, like the smaller, like Beth said, and then a discounted rate for bigger tournaments, I think that's huge.
Yeah, that makes more sense, because I feel like since when we women go to matches and everything, there is no novice, so women are already immediately competing with somebody who's got a year to 5 years more experience, so the odds of winning are not in your favor.
Absolutely.
You know?
And then that's a discouragement.
Yes, it is. And they're like, well,
yeah.
So,
and at one time I can remember being like, oh God, she's coming, I'm not even going to go. But now, and I know a lot of women do it. I mean, Sarah back comes to Chuck's tournament and she's amazing. I've never been able to touch her ever in my arm wrestling career, but she pulls the men at Chuck's tournament. All of the men have to agree in that weight class, and if they all agree, then Sarah pulls the men. And so you have to have a different kind of mindset. So some women are like, oh God, she's going to be there, I'm not even going to go. Why am I going to waste my time? Or you can be like, oh God, she's going to be there, I could test my strength against her. I could see what she says about me. I can see how she thinks I feel. So you kind of have to talk yourself into it.
Yeah. I get to see how she thinks I feel very first round robin.
Do it.
Yes.
Fire. You got fire. Go as fast as you can.
God bless your heart, Christina.
I'm going to fire, all right. I'm going to fire and shit my pants.
She really is one of the sweetest people. I mean, you know, you can't be mad at her. She's just the Swedish goddess and is amazing at everything she does. So it is what it is.
But what you guys were saying about the free entry, I have changed my West Virginia States. It will be free entry for the ladies at the West Virginia States this year. So
awesome.
Shout out to States, August 17th.
Very nice.
Free entry for the ladies.
Yes.
Very nice.
August 17th or 7th.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you giving out awards for first place, second place, third place winners? Like, do you lose money on that?
Yes, and the ladies in first place also get prize money.
Yeah.
Right on, Christina.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Wait, Christina, are you pulling?
Yeah, if your ass shows up, I am.
Well, I'm not going if you're gonna pull.
Oh, don't say that.
Don't say that. We just had this talk.
Yeah.
Chuck does the same thing with that. He doesn't charge for women, and then the women, I think it's like $100 first place, left and right. So
nice.
So we talked about Sarah Bachman a little bit. So that leads me into my who do you guys like? Top 1, top 3, top 5 nobody's feelings get hurt, but like who are you guys really watching right now as far as female arm wrestlers?
I definitely just have to stick with Sarah. She's local for us now. I mean, she's in Florida. She's everywhere in Florida. Yeah, there's a tournament that I think is named after her in Orlando in a couple months.
Yep.
She practices with our team here and there. She practices with the St. Augustine guys. So yeah, she's not going away anytime soon.
And I'm going to be completely honest with you. You know, my life is overwhelming and I don't follow arm wrestling. I didn't know who half the people are when Chuck talks about people. And when they come to the tournament, even men, I'm like, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I apologize. I don't know who you are. And they look at me like I'm stupid. You know, but like Beth said, Sarah, you know, she's in our state. So we have no choice but to follow her. Yes, she's amazing. She's phenomenal. But you know, I don't want to say that I follow one and don't follow the other. I don't do it. So sorry, don't hate me.
Never. Like I said, I think I said it before you hopped on. This is not a gotcha show in any way.
Gotcha. That's right.
That's funny because me and Beth were texting and we were like, so what are we not going to talk about? We're not going to talk about this or that.
Yeah.
What did you decide you weren't going to talk about?
I plead the fifth. That's exactly
what Beth said. I plead the fifth. You know.
Hey, I got a picture of Casey pleading the fifth once.
Oh, and where is it? Let's see it.
Remember the camisole that you were wearing, and I told you to go up behind my husband so I could get a picture. Her boobs were all pushed up, and he was snoring at the after party. She goes up to get behind him and put her boobs up behind his head, and he wakes up and he turns around and her boobs are right in his face.
Right there.
So it's just like,
nice.
Yeah.
Look at that
got the picture.
Oh, Beth, you was hungry there.
Yes.
I was hungry. I was a good 80 pounds heavier, 70 pounds heavier.
What was your
I don't even remember where that was. Say that again.
What was your weight class that you pulled in?
I was always in the heavyweights. Oh yeah, we were hungry.
It was like 200 plus or 180 plus.
183.
Oh, y'all my girls.
It was 170. It was 176 plus because I was always in the 176 and no one would ever show up and I'd always have to pull up in the heavyweights.
Well, I know for a fact the one tournament that I was naked upside down, I know that was 183 because I killed myself to get to 183. And after that tournament, I was like, I will eat all of the double cheeseburgers I could find. I will never in my life try and make weight again ever because I felt like I lost so much power and I did.
I've always been a big girl. To this day, sitting here right now, I'm 6 foot. I'm 240. There's no way, you know.
We're just hungry.
And me and Beth eat the same thing every day, but yet she's this big.
Listen,
and then there's me.
I died one time and that's how I lost weight. And I don't recommend it. It's not the route I would take.
I don't want to die one time. I'll be fat. I'm okay.
That's what happened. My doctor said I liked bacon too much, and now I have this giant scar in the middle of my chest. So,
don't tell me that. I love bacon. I don't want to give it up.
That's right.
It's not bacon. Like, she died the day she ate Popeyes, so she just can't eat Popeyes anymore.
That's probably true. Yeah, I ate Popeyes. Yeah, so that's how I lost weight. It was not anything to do with not loving food.
Popeye chicken sandwich? Is that what
it was actually?
Lucky's like, I don't want to eat that.
Yeah, it was chicken fingers with some of the blackened ranch.
Oh, there you go.
I have never had Popeyes.
Well, stay away.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't need Popeyes.
I'm a KFC girl. I don't like Popeyes, so I'm okay.
Yeah.
On that note, y'all have a good night.
Yeah, okay. Go.
Yeah, KFC, gives you like fried gizzards, so I'll take that.
Yeah. Oh, yes, they do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can't eat any of it, so shut up.
I don't eat any of it anymore.
She can't medically eat it, and I can't just preferably eat it because I'm just doing that stupid diet stuff. So
I just
nobody likes this.
Yeah.
I do the school lunch diet. Whatever they serve me at school, that's what I'm
Whatever.
eating.
Oh my God, you
Whatever.
poor thing.
It's really not bad. It's a private school, so the lady
Oh,
in the
y'all
kitchen,
messed up.
we call her
Yeah.
Nanny. Yeah,
Yeah.
not bad.
You guys
Yeah.
have those cheesy breadsticks that like pull apart and the cheese like melts in the middle. Oh, I miss those.
And reasons
We
like
have
that
them.
is
We
why
just
I've
had them
had 3 heart attacks.
yesterday.
Oh, see.
See?
Okay, so Beth,
But see,
so did
our
you
school's here. Our school's here. We do scratch cooking, so we do a lot of. I go in the morning. I make chicken and noodles from scratch, and a lot of scratch
I
cooking.
need to come
vegetables
there.
Yeah.
from scratch.
That's kind of what our school does too.
Yep.
The woman that does our cooking, it's her and her daughter in the kitchen, and it's all Southern cooking. We call her Nanny. Everybody calls her Nanny, and so it's all very welcome to the South.
But then, like, Beth gets excited whenever it's Salisbury steak and mashed potato
I
day.
love Salisbury steak day. Absolutely.
And I'm like,
And if
Beth,
they-
how can you
And
eat
if they give
that?
me 2, it's even better.
Oh my God.
That's
So Beth,
all.
did you actually have a heart attack? What exactly happened?
Yes. So I had my son in 2015, and then in March of 2016 I had my first heart attack, and it was the same week as a hurricane was scheduled to hit, and so I drove myself to the hospital, and they ran all these tests, tried to discharge me on Wednesday, and a hurricane was scheduled to hit on Thursday. So they were just kind of trying to get everybody out that wasn't like critical.
Life-threatening.
So, right. And at that point I was like, I'm good. I have a 1-year-old at home. Can I go home? So I had one doctor that was like, no, let's wait and do one more test. The next day we did another test. I had a heart cath done. And at that time I had 2 stents put in. So I had a heart attack, but it wasn't serious enough for anything more than stents. So then in 2021, in March of 21, same kind of thing happened. I drove myself to the hospital. I was having chest pains, previous history. They got me right in. Same kind of thing happened again. They sent me home. They were like, it was just a perfect storm of all your numbers. They sent me home. Couldn't sleep at all that night. They had prescribed me nitroglycerin, and thank God the pharmacy didn't have it ready. And so the next day I was hurting so bad, but it wasn't normal heart attack pain. Ladies, everybody's listening. It was indigestion. Like I was drinking milk, I was chugging water, I was taking Tums, nothing would touch it. So at like 2:00 in the morning, I drove to the hospital, and nitroglycerin immediately made the pain go away. Had I had nitroglycerin at home, I would have died at home. I was having a major heart attack. That was on a Sunday night. They got the pain under control Monday morning. My cardiologist was like, well, what do you think we should do? Because, we're friends like that, and I should be a doctor. And so I said, I think we need to do another heart cath. Same doctor. Yeah, they went in, did the heart cath, and like in the middle of laying on the table, the doctor comes up around to my head, and he's like, don't freak out. We're going to have to close you up and send you to our downtown hospital, and you have to have immediate open heart surgery. And so I freaked out because that's what he told me not to do. And so I'm like bawling, crying. I'm still like in twilight. So I'm kind of, I don't even know what all I was saying, but I know I was bawling, crying. I'm like, I have babies. So that was on a Monday. That Wednesday I had open heart surgery. I had a double bypass. And so my doctor, same doctor, has said, you could eat bacon and steak at every meal and be totally fine your whole life. Or you could eat salad and go to the gym every day and have a heart attack. If it's in your genes, if it's part of your genetics, you can't get away from it. And so I'm not saying I ate salad and went to the gym every day, but I didn't have the genetics to get away from it. And so my dad's side of the family, anything that's ever wrong with me and Chuck, we're always like, thanks, Dad. Diabetes. Thanks, Dad. High blood pressure. Thanks, Dad. So I had open heart surgery, and thanks, in March of 21. And it was awful. It was an awful, awful year.
It really, it's from the outside watching her, I don't wish that on my worst enemy.
It was, so my body rejected the wires that they used to close my sternum. And I had to get opened up again in August of 21. And I went to sleep thinking that I was having outpatient surgery and that my incision was going to be the size of a quarter, because that's what I was told. I woke up the next day and I couldn't see anything because everything was covered. But when they took the bandages off, it looked like I had gotten shot in the chest by an elephant gun. I literally had a hole this big in the center of my chest. Like, it was insane. It looked like a horror movie. And
they had to leave you open, basically.
Yeah.
So they had to put a wound vac on my chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to put a wound vac on, but I didn't know any of this. I knew nothing. I didn't know what day it was. It was the next day. And so I had been complaining for 6 months that something wasn't right. And then they finally listened. So you have to be your own advocate, because doctors are not all there to save lives. So yeah, I pushed and pushed and pushed until they finally were like, okay, let's open it up and see. And sure enough, it was all infection. And when they told me what happened, that it was infected, I was like, okay, good, thinking, good. They took them all out. They did not. They only took the top half of the wires out. So I was livid, and I was like, what happens in 12 weeks when I get this wind vac off and I have another infection? That's exactly what happened. Wind vac came off. A week later, I developed another infection. So they immediately opened me back up for the third time. And mind you, all of this is during COVID. I was not allowed to have one visitor in the hospital. Thank God I had a good view. There was dolphins and stuff in the water, but I was there each time for at least like 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, by myself. No one was allowed to come up. So it was, I probably have PTSD now that I think about it, but it was awful. It was awful.
I'm already having sympathy chest pains for you. So
yeah, exactly. Go to the hospital. I'm
having a heart attack now.
Anytime I get anything, I'm
awful.
like, Beth.
And I tell it, don't ask me, because I go to the hospital. I don't care what it is. Go to the hospital. But yeah, so you can see the scar starts right here, and it goes all the way down to right here. And it was awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah.
But here I am. But God.
So glad. I'm so glad you're here sharing this.
Yeah, exactly.
Story,
so now, like when I'm practicing, like if I go to practice just for fun, or I'm working out, like when me and Casey go to the gym, I can't. There's what's the machine that I can't do, Casey, where we lay on our stomach? Oh, it's where you curl your legs up like you're doing butt flexes and you lay on your stomach. I can't do it because it hurts my chest. Bench press.
Leg curls.
Yeah, leg curls. Yeah, where you lay on your stomach and you're curling up to your butt. I can't do that.
Yeah.
So I probably could. It's just really uncomfortable. I can't lay on the floor on my stomach. Can't lay on the bed on my stomach. So quite the adventure. I don't recommend it. And I was 230 pounds at my heaviest, and now I'm like 175. All from that.
Exactly that. But my daughter had open heart surgery as a child, so that's a traumatizing experience.
It's traumatic. Yeah, absolutely traumatic.
But you look great. You look healthy.
Very healthy now. I will say, I'm very healthy now.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
I was the youngest person on the heart floor by 50 years, and I was like getting up and trying to take a shower and brushing my hair and stuff, and they would come running in there because the bed alarm was going off because the 85-year-old next to me had a bed alarm too, and I was like, "Listen, I'm good. I've got it. I will let you know if I need you. Leave me alone." So yeah, it was awful, awful, awful.
Mm-hmm.
Part of my story.
Yeah. Any actually arm injuries during arm wrestling, lady?
My thumb. I popped my thumb out of place. Pulling Elaine Blick. I was pulling Elaine Blick at nationals somewhere. I don't remember where.
Columbia, South Carolina.
It could have been. I was not old enough to go by myself. I was like 17 because my mom came and my brother came. So whenever I got off the stage, my thumb was like this much longer because the whole thing popped up out of the socket. And so my mom's like, "What do you need?" And I was like, "Ibuprofen." And then Chuck was like, "What do you need?" I was like, "Crown and Coke." I was like, "Okay."
I was in her face with the camera taking pictures.
Yeah, and I was crying with her.
The best.
I know, but knock on something. That was the worst. It ended up being a slip match, but she won because my thumb was all the way out of the socket.
Fair.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I don't have any
Elaine.
cool stories like that. Sorry.
Yeah, do you don't think you ever got injured?
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
I know, that's what I was doing.
She's gonna trip and fall on the way to the bathroom tonight.
I was the referee that had the arm breaks on my table, and I would always feel like it was my fault. Like I couldn't stop it. But no offense to anybody that had that happen to them, at least it wasn't me.
That's
Just
true.
saying.
I was in straps with Renee Bean. We were somewhere in Georgia, Podunk somewhere. And her arm broke and we were in straps, and I felt so bad because I had never beat her before. And so I was like, are you okay? So I finished winning. She was like, it definitely broke. I was like, oh, that was awful. Awful.
Speaking of Renee Bean, she's supposed to be coming to Chuck's tournament.
She is.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
all 125 pounds of her.
Yes, so jealous.
I know.
And
I
Nicole
can't remember where it was
show.
I saw her. Was it there that was it in South Carolina or Worlds that we saw her and I didn't know who it was?
No, don't even know.
When you guys were at Worlds.
Which Worlds?
In Florida.
Oh, in Orlando?
When you guys came to Worlds in Florida.
Yeah, I think she came to watch for a little bit. Yeah, and I didn't know who she was either. And she had dropped so much weight. Chuck was like, that's Renee over there. I was like, oh my gosh.
No way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am in South Carolina and there's like nothing here. I mean, we have some guys, don't get me wrong, they're great, but women wise, like there's only 3 of us now that I know.
Well, Nicole Cisco used to be part of Team South Carolina.
Yeah, I know. That's who I go with. Up to
she's back in Ohio now.
Yeah, she's not pulling anymore. So
what about Marlene?
Well, that's just me, Marlene, and Deb from Myrtle Beach. So
does Holly Edwards doesn't pull at all anymore?
She's North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Right
now. North Carolina. Okay.
Yeah. So
isn't she number 4 in she might be 2 actually.
Yeah, she's ranked. I know that much.
Yeah.
Because I think it's right now, I believe it's Kayla, Holly, Mackenzie, Lainey, and Katie are the ranked 5. I think that's how it goes.
Yeah. Are Kayla and Katie going for rank? Like, is Katie going for Kayla's number 1?
Yep. Yeah. So Katie wins, she will become North Carolina's number 1.
Wow.
Hopping in and knocking super matches.
Everybody down 1. I think that means Kayla goes down to number 2. I don't think that automatically makes her number 5.
No, I shifts you down 1.
Shifts you down. And then I know Personnel is gonna challenge whoever ends up being number 5 so she can get back on the ranks as well. Shout out to Hannah, we love you.
We don't even have South Carolina rankings anymore. We had
you don't? Yeah,
North Carolina and South Carolina were trying to do it separate, but Carolina Chaos just fucking wipes the floor with everybody. I can't remember, a guy named Edwards was doing it, but he's no longer doing it. A lot of people don't even believe in rankings. You know, everybody has their own opinion of that.
It's so hard to keep up with. I mean, if you want to, include every single tournament. Woo! If you include every single tournament everywhere you go,
I had the
it's
guys
so hard
from West Virginia ask me if I was going to do I had the guys from West Virginia ask me if I was going to do rankings, and I said, no, really, there's no people from West Virginia, because before it was just the people in our area or Travis Bajent, clean over on the other side of the state. And at the time, Travis had even quit wrestling. And I didn't know it, but it ticked them off. So they went and I guess got a group together and did their rankings. And I'm like, oh, well, good for you guys. But when they did it, there was nobody on there that did anything, really, because the people ranked. That won the actual West Virginia states that were from West Virginia weren't even listed on them.
And that's the thing. Anybody could pull a ranking
he did a pretty good. Yeah, but he didn't know. These guys were telling him that, and he didn't know that. He ended up doing a pretty good job once he got the other listings. He's listed a pretty good pretty good list of people. So he's doing a pretty good job now. The boy that's doing them now is Bo Horner, and he's doing a really good job of it, keeping up with the different things and
it's a full-time job
with the different tournaments and stuff. So
yeah. I think that we do have Florida rankings.
I think it's also it's kind of a weird thing to me because, you know, what if somebody is having a bad day, health wise, they say, well, don't go to a tournament if you're having a bad day health wise, you know, and that takes your ranking away. That's why I don't even, you know, rankings, so what, you know?
Yeah.
Because
that's how I feel about
there's been days that I have beat, you know, I'm ranked 5th and Martha Swick's all the way down here at 10th. And I've beat her, I think, more times than she's beat me, or we may be even, I don't know. So, you know, how does that even out? And it's just weird to me. It's just weird. So
I want to say that me and Casey are still on the Florida State rankings, and we've been inactive for years.
That should go. Not fair. Not fair.
That's exactly right. I mean, I think my nieces are on there. Both of my nieces are on the Florida State ranking somewhere. And of course, Sarah's ranked number 1.
Right.
As she
well,
should
that's
be.
just, when they first did this West Virginia rankings, one of the guys was griping and complaining at this boy, why didn't you ask Christina? And he's like, I should be on there. And this dude hasn't wrestled in 7 or 8 years. And I'm like,
no.
Okay.
No, right. There's inactive arm wrestlers. That's the list that you should be on, sir.
Yeah. He's doing a good. Bo, you know, he's doing a really good job. So I said, just leave him alone. He knows what he's doing.
Right. Yeah, well, that's why I appreciated what Virginia did as far as we did ranking round robin. And so you just entered your weight class and then everybody pulled everybody. And then depending on what you walked away with, that was your rank. And then the only way you're allowed to challenge is through a called out super match. That's approved by like the 2 gentlemen that are head. So right now I'm uncontested for number 1, which I will sit pretty at.
Very nice.
I'm
enjoy
good.
it.
Right, exactly. Because no, but I did we had 4. We had 4 women at sit downs in Virginia that all live in Virginia. So
okay.
At the same time I'm like, hey guys, you want to come do rankings? Because if I lose this like in 2 years, it might not be as bad as I lose it in like
You know, I've never, in all of my years of arm wrestling, I've never been to a sit-down tournament, but Chuck told me how awesome that one was.
Really? You should totally come next year. It's a lot of fun.
That's what I heard. Yeah, I've never been to a sit-down.
Well, and I mean, and I don't know if it's just because, I mean, some people, it's not that it's not taken seriously, but like, it's not taken as seriously, I feel like. Like, I mean, it's literally like, sit down and chill. Like there are people that still, you know, you still have those people that take it, you know, like, oh, and you know, they have the back and forth and they have the stuff. I mean, you know, it's exactly what you guys were saying before about like you walk away from the table and you hug it out and it's all good.
Yeah, right.
And even walking up to the table, like, yeah, you're kind of focused, but it's just kind of like you just sit down and you're like, and then you just go. And I think I did not expect to like it as much as I liked it. Like,
how many sit downs have you pulled?
Just that was my first
one. The one, okay.
Yeah, just the one, and so that's what I'm saying. Like, I've only done stand up. I mean, I've only been in this. My first tournament was in November, so I'm not anywhere.
Your first tournament was in November, and you've already started all this podcast and all of this.
You know what?
Kudos to you. Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, we're a mix of people who've been doing it and people who are to it, which is, I think, a great blend to help get more of us.
Yes, absolutely, especially women. Yeah, absolutely.
That was my big thing is, you know, being the only one in Virginia. Like, I was just like, how am I going to get, you know, girls into this, you know? And so I thought about the podcast, and, you know, Christina was on board, and that, like, once she said, yeah, sure, let's do this. I was like, all right, let's go. And, and like, with Scarlett and Amanda and, just have people from all different levels and all different places was I think just something where they could share it out to women in their areas and be like, see that there are female arm wrestlers that aren't that rip your arms off and are really scary.
Yeah, exactly, they're not really scary. That's why, because it's such a stereotypical man sport, man thing to do,
right?
Like being a teacher, you should know this also, and I tell like my students parents all the time, they're like, wait, you do what? I'm like, I know, just Google me.
Right.
Literally.
My students do all the time. They're like, Miss Lucky Wood.
That's awesome. That is not my name. That's funny.
But I have it has helped me build. There's one girl in like the entire grade, and she is obsessed with arm wrestling now, and her dad is so happy. And he was like, I love that you got her into this because now she watches like the pay-per-view with me and over the top with me. And so thank you. That's like our daddy-daughter thing. And I'm just like,
you're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome. That's cute.
Yeah. So all the other girls were like, ew, we would never do that. But and then the guys
we only started it because the boys were pretty to look at. And then we ended up being really good, and so that's why we stayed in it.
and then the boys got even better looking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we'll plead the fifth on that. Let's move on.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Did you ladies ever miss an opportunity to pull someone that you really looked up to? Is there still somebody out there you wish you would have got a match with?
I'm going to jump in on this. Two people that I would, not pull. They weren't pulling at the time that I was pulling, but just hearing the stories and how great they were. Dot Jones, 100%. To even meet her and shake her hand, not because she's an actress on my kids' shows that I watch all the time, but just the stories that I've heard about her. And then, call me crazy, but huge mentor for us ladies back when Beth and I were growing up, Karen Bean. I would have loved to have pulled her in her prime and been able to. She taught us so much, so to be able to pull her. Just that's not a goal, but would have been great.
Yeah,
that's great because these are women I still haven't even heard about. So this is so awesome.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So Dot
Jones is a big deal now, but
yes, you're gonna need to write those names down.
Yeah.
I think that though during our time arm wrestling, there wasn't a woman, an active woman that we didn't pull. Like it was every tournament we went to. A lot of the time it was a lot of the same women, and it was the same, 6 or 7 or 8 women: Christina, me, Casey, Nicole Cisco, Renee Bean, Cindy Looney, Heather McSherry, Kelly Nelson. That might be Jamaica. Can't remember her last name. What was her last name? James. Jamaica
James. She was on Team South Carolina.
Oh yeah, she was.
Jeffries.
Jeffries.
Yes.
Jamaica Jeffries. Yeah, it sounded right.
It did.
But yeah, during the time that we arm wrestled, we in the States. So there was definitely women that were, in other countries that we missed opportunities with because they didn't travel there, and we didn't travel here. But in the States, we all 10 or 11 of us arm wrestled very frequently. Every tournament that we went to, we all arm wrestled each other. I got the opportunity to have a super match with Joyce King, and that was amazing. She spanked me like a little child, but I was totally okay with it because I was in awe the whole time. But yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
I think that's how I watched one of our fellow co-hosts when finally pulling Sarah Bachman. She was just like, okay. This is okay. And I felt like Sarah let her get a little grip for a second, and then it was just wait. I was like, well, that was nice.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah. Yes. And Elaine Blick. I said she pulled my thumb out of place. That was a fun day.
I roomed with Elaine Blick one time. That was a fun adventure.
It was a fun tournament.
Yeah.
I said no way, no how to that one.
Yeah, I was young and dumb and thought, hey, okay, I'll do it. Why not? That
Good
was the
times.
year
Good
that
times.
I went to housekeeping and asked if there was a room that I could just sleep for an hour so that I could get home.
That was before social media.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yes.
Who knows where you would be now?
Yeah, in jail, a lot of people would be.
Oh, yes.
So this is
Divorced and in jail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
we don't have to wrap it up, but kind of one thing that I've kind of added to our podcast here the last couple weeks that I have gone really fun, and it's just my kind of last question. It's kind of a two-part question. And so Casey, you can go first, Beth, you can, it doesn't matter, or you can take turns however you want to do it. But the first part of the question is, what do you suggest to women who are interested in the sport and want to get started out? And then the second part is to women who are in the sport, what words of wisdom or encouragement do you have for them as far as wherever they're at in their journey in the sport?
So to those that are interested in the sport, I would have to say, take your time, don't rush. The more you can learn, and honestly at a slower pace, I feel you'll absorb it, you'll learn it better, you'll critique yourself better. Even now, we still learn to this day, even in life, you learn something new every day. So with the sport of arm wrestling, you're learning a different move, you're learning a different technique, your feet position or whatever, so be it. You're learning something new every time you go. So that would be my biggest advice to those that are in the sport, that are competing. Don't stop. Make it as big as you can. When Beth and I were pulling, we talked about going to, we would do the news, we would do all this stuff, and we're like, oh, we're gonna make women so much bigger than it is. And we tried, and it got
we
nowhere.
did for a while. I mean, it was for a while.
Right. But the younger girls fizzle out, they get a life, they have babies and whatever, and then you come back in. And so that's where I say Beth and I, we're not retired. You
never know,
just give us time. Our kids need to get older. I have a 2 and a 5-year-old, or a 2 and a almost 8-year-old. I'm not bringing them to tournaments. I'm not going to run around and chase them. So let them get a little bit older, and then let me come and find it. But don't go anywhere. Stay in it. Love the sport like the men do.
Yeah. And for the newcomers, the ones that are interested, and you don't have to find a team, but find people that'll practice with you. There is somewhere on Facebook, there's a team somewhere close to you, or there's someone pulling somewhere close to you. That there's always a tournament. There's always a tournament, whether you can, you can find it, get to it, even if you just go to watch. You can learn names, you can learn faces, you can learn moves, you can learn all kinds of stuff. If you're able to go to tournaments, go. Me and Casey spent literally our entire 20s flying and driving and going and meeting new people and learning new things, and not just the arm wrestling side of it. Like, we grew up so much with so much experience in traveling and in doing all of these things. Lily, yeah, I know. Thank you, Lily. But yeah, I would say, practice as much as you can with as many people as you can who do different things. If you're a hooker, arm wrestle with someone who's a top roller. You got to
the shoulder press, all of it.
Different positions and different ways to get out of positions that you're not comfortable in, and different hands and different people, period. So I would say, just keep practicing and find people who are able to practice with you and willing to practice with you. And for the people that are in it, that want to stay in it, same thing. I mean, you're never too old to learn something new. And so I didn't even know what the freaking King's move was until they started doing it a year ago, and now that's all you hear about. And so I don't agree with it. However, but yeah, no, I would say if you want to be in it, stay in it and get all the goodie out of it because it's fun.
Y'all make it to sound fun for sure. I feel like talking to y'all actually gave me more encouragement, and I'm just even more happier for sure about being in the sport. Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
Well, and anytime, if you're ever in Florida, if you ever want to come stay with us, come. Because Chuck is great. We're in Jacksonville. So we're right at the top.
Oh, yeah. Not far at all.
No, so Chuck will always do a special tournament. Like if you want to come down for the weekend or something, he'll throw a special tournament, and Beth and I will make sure that we're there. And, we're not the strongest right now, but we haven't lost it either. So we will be there to train with you.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. You want to go, Jack?
Absolutely.
Yes. Hey, we're only 2 hours from Disney too. So, I mean.
That's right. 2 hours.
I have family in Tampa, and I'm coming to Florida for the East versus West Challenger Series because of a couple of guys that I get to practice with are pulling. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
we haven't heard much about if it's open to the public and how much it's going to be and all that kind of stuff.
I'm waiting. Yeah, I heard there's supposed to be spectators. I haven't heard about tickets. I'm waiting for Chance Shaw to put something out. But as far as I know,
we are too.
We even messaged him.
Yeah, we're going to be at Disney that week together because, we do everything together. And so we've already messaged him saying, hey, we're going to be in Orlando. What do we need to do to come watch? And so we're waiting to hear back.
Oh,
Chance. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Love it. Love it.
Chuck's daughter's messaging us right now and telling Beth to do some funny things, and that's what we were giggling about.
These bottom teeth are fake. She's like, pop your teeth out. I'm like, no, you jerk face.
That's okay. I have Invisalign. I'll pop my braces out.
There you go, Lily. There you go. There you go.
No, my niece called me yesterday and she was singing me happy birthday, and then she was like, are you 90? And I was like, get off my phone.
That's right. Don't ever call me again.
Right.
Hey, but it's okay.
Their baby books. In both of their baby books, my oldest niece, Chuck is just surrounded by girls. He had 2 sisters and 2 daughters, and so
and I'm adopted in. So
that's right. So in both of my niece's baby books, Chuck had written that he wanted both of them to beat me by the time they were 13. Like that was his goal for them. Oh. And I haven't arm wrestled them in a while, so they probably can do it. But as long as I don't arm wrestle them, they still haven't beat me. So we're just going to leave it at that. Yeah.
If you don't open the box, there's no cat in it.
That is exactly right, Nora. Yep.
Well, awesome. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off of live. And so I just want to thank all of our viewers tonight. I really appreciate it. Ladies, do you have anything you would like to shout out, add, anything?
Plug. Mayhem in Middleburg 7, June 8th, 10 a.m. Ramada Inn Conference Center. No novice. Women, come on. It's free. Teen boys, teen girls, kids. Round robin. If you've never pulled a round robin, this is your exciting time to do so. It's going to be an awesome tournament. Last year was a record number of people, which is why we have moved it over to a hotel. So we're hoping that it is another record number of people. And then after that, Casey and I are helping out with another tournament. One of our guys that arm wrestle with us, he practices with a Warriors Peace Project, and he does a benefit for veterans here in Florida also. Everything's on his Facebook page, and I'm sure Chuck has shared it, and I've shared it, and Artem and other guys from our team. But it's Warriors Peace benefit for veterans. It's a huge piece of property, and they do all kinds of stuff. They have vendors and food trucks and all kinds of stuff. So that tournament starts at 1 on September 21st, and $500 to all first place entries. And I think that was
both tournaments are veteran affiliated.
Awesome.
Yes, yeah, the Warriors Peace Project. So
yes,
yeah. And if you need more information about it, look up Chuck's Facebook account or mine, and you could get to him, or Casey's and you could get to his, and all of that good stuff.
Beth and I aren't pulling at either. However, if anybody would like to pull us, we will gladly.
Or are we?
I'm not.
No, we're not.
don't even tease.
No. I'll be sitting behind the stage with the mic. I'm not doing any of that.
That's exactly where I'll be too.
Yeah.
But I've heard for the September 21st, I've heard the Michael Todd is going to be there.
Awesome.
Maybe we'll see. I'm gonna find out.
And somebody else, but
said Michael Todd.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yes, yes.
Well, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you tune in. Next week we're going to be talking about the Invitational. So shout out to Danielle and Nadia at Knuckles Up 3. I won't give out, for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, I won't give out any spoils, but both ladies, we are very proud of you for representing us female arm wrestlers today on Knuckles Up 3. You both did an amazing job. Thank you, Knuckles Up 3, for having 2 female referees. That was amazing for all your matches. So we appreciate you supporting women in the sport, and we will continue to